welcome back to Shatter Our Souls with Novaria. Now, today we are tackling the last of the challenges under the Kaze section of Need for Speed Most Wanted. And as a continuation from last time, we're going to break a few windows and move on with our day. Now, I've been mentioning a lot recently that I believe that it would be easier to beat the game with a single vehicle from start to finish rather than swapping vehicle after every race, whatnot. And I do stand by that statement. If you're using 25 cars on a rotation, what the? Was that a Lotus Elise or was that a Porsche? I couldn't tell. All I know is the purple one looked kind of cool. That one's definitely an Elise. And one of them got hit in the back there. I think that one was the orange one. Either way. So, moving forward, I know flat out, or at least I believe at this point, that the Lexus will be able to finish the game. Partially because I wasn't expecting it to do this well long term, and partially because I've gained a lot more confidence in myself as far as playing this game goes. And I had to say that just before hitting a wall. I'm a good driver. Somebody just keeps putting the barriers in the wrong spots. I promise. That's all it is. But lap 1 down, first opponent is out of the race. They've decided not to put new windows into the bus station for reasons unknown. I mean, they're usually pretty quick about it. And they're driving on the wrong side of the road even. And putting buildings in my way. I swear I'm a good driver. Anyways, with this, I believe that going forward, the Lexus will manage what comes up. So, to keep this a little bit short form, I know I've mentioned it in the last video, I'm going to start removing videos or removing segments that I have failed in. This is simply because I don't want this series to go longer than it needs to. And at now 29-ish videos in, I'm realizing I bit off a fair bit more than I can chew. So, while I can acknowledge that I will be finishing this series in its entirety, I also acknowledge that I want to move on to other projects in the near future. So, I apologize in advance if that was something that you enjoyed about it, and I'd love to see a comment stating, or love to hear from you guys, if you want me to continue with the original style. That being said, I'm doing what I feel is best for the channel at this moment in time. Lars here is struggling to keep up. I can't imagine why. He's got a Lotus Elise or something of a similar nature. Probably has better handling than our car does. Well, similar or better, along with potentially better acceleration and top speed. I don't know though. I don't know their stats. What I can say outright is running into a wall like that is not going to help my case any. But it's all good. Rockport here is looking fine as it ever has. Enjoying that scenic view of the mountains off in the distance. quite a nice place to be. You know, outside of this, outside of the game itself, I recently came across Cell Dweller. I have to say, it's quite a decent band. Just a statement in general. Anyways, round 2. These guys don't know what a shortcut is. They all just took the long rope. Okay. Wingnut is already 1,000 feet behind. Yes, we gotta do a little trick, keep the day exciting. All is Gouda. You know, I feel like it might be a little bit tiring for said person to be racing all these people constantly. Like, doing it once in a blue moon probably wouldn't be that bad, but shy of what we're looking, or of, shy of doing this like once a week like I do, it would be a extensive amount of extra work for this poor guy to constantly use it to fill his pockets, especially given how much money probably goes into repainting the car after I'm done with it. And second trick, much higher. And there goes all the suspension. I admit outright that I did end up losing this race. It was second place, only lost by about half a second. I got caught right at the end. But Wingnut, I think deserved the win. I got myself into a pretty hairy situation at the end of the second lap last time, where I ran head-on into a wall. So I concede defeat on that particular race. But when it comes down to that, we're always outnumbered, we're never outgunned. And lap 3 is on the go. Looks like they've closed the gap just a little bit. Not that it's the end of the world. Gotta love the look of that bell tower there. And yeah. I'm gonna hit the wall. Oh, no. Okay, cool. It seems a little bit weird with this landscape, because a lot of it looks as though it's just freestanding buildings out in the middle of nowhere, which kind of feels weird. Also, Rockport kind of gives the vibes of New York. Anyway, third and final race of today, and it's pretty much as simple as it gets. We must follow with evil intent. Now, I have to say that I like Rockport. There are bits and pieces that kind of fit in with multiple cities, whether it's San Francisco, New York. I picked the wrong route. Okay, time to make a quick adjustment. There we go, back in the race. Part of what I like about Rockport and Need for Speed Most Wanted as a whole actually comes down to the physics of the game, and I've mentioned it in some capacity in the past. But the fact that you can manipulate the physics through going into bullet time through your speed breaker by using your NOS at a specific time by the light tap speed breaker, the long tap speed breaker. Every action has direct control over your vehicle, and it makes for some very tight turns and close races. I love that about this. Add into that destroyable environment and how heavy a good landing, a good solid hit into another vehicle feels. It's absolutely, there's no comparing it in virtually any game on the market today. Anyways, lap 2, we're about 2,000 feet ahead of the last place player. And 800 feet ahead, 1,000 from second place. Majority of our rivals are struggling just a tad. Not that it's the end of the world. Gonna take the better route this time and hope that nobody puts a car in my way. Like, who does that? And yeah, I like outright that there are things in this game that make every route look unique, look interesting, and viable in its own way. Part of that, and part of that uniqueness of the world, comes from the fact that the various set pieces that you go by are often only seen from one side or another. So while yes, you have an overpass there, it's just there for show. But you can see the edge of Rockport off in the distance. You've got the cranes, you've got yourself the river running through the edge, the industrial area. All these little set pieces tie together to make a somewhat believable city. I just threw the race away, didn't I? Okay, maybe not. Blacklock is still 1,000 feet behind, so apparently it wasn't that bad. And it's the final lap. And yeah. No major issues going through there. All right. And Blacklock took the wrong route again, so he's probably going to end up slowing down a little bit around the next curve. Or just flat out running into the wall, that helps. Wolf followed right behind him. $120 miles per hour off-roading. I don't think I've ever hit 120 mile an hour in real life, ever. Pretty impressive, to say the least. But part of where I'm getting at with all these set pieces is because of how recognizable each set piece is, it is actually remarkably easy to get around Rockport, because the layout of the city actually, it works to make sense for you instead of you trying to put the pieces together yourself all the time. Anywho, we're far enough ahead. This race is a win. So all I will say from here is, if you like what you see, drop a like, leave a subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Until then, be good to one another, and have a good one.